stop scrolling for just a moment, because what I'm about to tell you might completely change the way you see your life. I'm Tony Robbins, and today we're talking about something that's stealing people's joy, confidence, and direction: the fear of missing out. FOMO is the silent killer of fulfillment. It's the voice that whispers, "You're behind, you're not doing enough, everyone else is living better than you." But let me tell you this, you can't win a race by watching someone else run. Life isn't about chasing every opportunity. It's about owning your lane, trusting your journey, and realizing that your timing is not late, it's divine. Comparison is one of the most silent destroyers of joy. You can't measure your path using someone else's timeline and expect peace. Every person has their own path, their own rhythm, their own divine appointment. The reason most people feel lost or anxious is because they've traded self-awareness for comparison. They're constantly looking left and right, trying to keep up with people who are not even running the same race. But here's the truth: your life is not supposed to look like anyone else's. You were designed differently for a reason. The moment you begin honoring your individuality, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start living with intention. You stop competing for recognition and start focusing on alignment. When you look at others and say, "They're ahead," you've already lost sight of your lane. The universe doesn't reward speed, it rewards consistency, authenticity, and faith. Everyone blooms in their own season. You might be in your planting stage right now while someone else is in their harvest, and that's okay. Don't confuse someone's highlight with your starting point. Every oak tree was once a seed that no one could see. That's what your journey is: invisible growth, quiet progress, the kind of transformation that doesn't show up on a feed, but shows up in your strength. The real win is not to be seen, it's to become. When you measure your worth through progress instead of comparison, your power returns. You realize you're not late, you're not behind. You're right on time for your own purpose. FOMO feeds on insecurity. The more you look outward, the weaker your inner voice becomes. And that's what this is all about. Learning to hear your own voice again. The voice that says, "You've got this. You're building something real." When you constantly compare, you disconnect from your own power. You start believing that someone else's success means your failure. But life doesn't work that way. There's no shortage of opportunities, no scarcity of blessings. Someone else winning doesn't mean you're losing. Your breakthrough is waiting for your focus. And you can't receive what's yours when your eyes are on what's theirs. The moment you turn inward and focus on progress, not perfection, everything shifts. Progress gives you momentum, comparison steals it. When you see how far you've come, not how far someone else is, you ignite belief. Belief creates action. Action creates results. You can't grow from a place of envy, but you can grow from gratitude, focus, and ownership. You don't need to be first. You need to be consistent. The ones who win aren't the ones who sprint. They're the ones who stay steady. So when you feel that pull, that urge to compare, stop and remind yourself, my journey is my journey. Every step I take with intention is building a future I can be proud of. You don't have to chase what others have. You have to become who you were meant to be. And that starts the moment you stop looking around and start looking within. The fear of missing out is not really about missing opportunities. It's about missing connection with yourself. FOMO whispers that life is happening without you, that you're falling behind, that somewhere out there, someone is living the version of life you wish you had. But what if I told you that nothing truly meant for you will ever pass you by? The truth is, FOMO is born when you stop trusting your own journey. It feeds on distraction, on the belief that fulfillment exists outside of your current experience. But you have to wake up and realize your lane, your timing, your process. That's where the magic is. You can't experience freedom if your attention is scattered. You can't find peace if your heart is always chasing what's next. We live in a world that glorifies more success, more followers, more experiences. But more doesn't always mean better. The key is presence. When you learn to be fully here, in this moment, you realize how much abundance already surrounds you. FOMO dies the moment gratitude takes over, because gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's meaningful. Every moment you spend envying someone else's experience is a moment stolen from your own. You can't build your purpose while scrolling through someone else's highlight reel. You have to unplug from the noise, reconnect to your breath, and remember, your life is happening now. The miracle isn't out there, it's right here. You've got to train your mind to stay centered when the world tries to pull you in 100 directions. Because clarity doesn't come from chaos, it comes from silence. The reason so many people feel lost is because they're too busy listening to every voice but their own. The world will always try to tell you what matters, what success looks like, what happiness should be, but you can't let external noise drown out your inner truth. Your intuition knows the way, but it can't guide you if you're constantly distracted. The answers you're searching for aren't found in comparison, they're found in stillness. When you slow down enough to hear your own heartbeat, you remember what really matters. You have to guard your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you say yes to someone else's agenda, you say no to your own destiny. This doesn't mean isolation. It means intention. It means choosing alignment over approval. It means realizing that peace isn't passive. It's a powerful decision. The more you anchor yourself in presence, the less power fear has over you. You stop chasing every opportunity that looks shiny and start recognizing the ones that truly align with your vision. This is how you win the battle against FOMO, by mastering your attention. The world is loud, but your purpose speaks in whispers. You have to be quiet enough to listen. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be here, fully alive, deeply focused, and grounded in your truth. Because the moment you stop chasing what's next and start embracing what's now, you discover the real freedom you've been searching for all along. You can't build confidence by chasing comparison. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through on what you said you would do, you strengthen the foundation of your identity. FOMO grows in the cracks of inconsistency. When you're unclear about who you are, you'll always look outward for validation. You'll scroll through lives that look perfect, wondering why yours feels uncertain. But the truth is, you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to stay faithful to the path you're on. Every step you take in integrity kills doubt. Because self-trust isn't built overnight. It's built in the daily grind of doing what matters, even when no one's watching. The moment you realize you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be, everything changes. Life isn't a race, it's a rhythm. The problem is most people are trying to sprint through seasons that are meant to be walked. You have to embrace the process, not just the progress. You may not see the results today, but every disciplined action compounds. Each time you choose growth over gossip, focus over distraction, purpose over panic, you're planting seeds of greatness. The harvest always comes, but only for those who stay consistent long enough to see it bloom. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove. You just need to keep showing up with heart. When you stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 10, you free yourself from the illusion of failure. You start to understand that your timeline is sacred. Everyone's journey unfolds differently. Some rise fast and fade, others rise slow and stay. You have to decide which one you'll be. Do you want instant attention or lasting impact? Because you can't have both. The noise of the world will always push you to move faster, do more, achieve quicker. But greatness grows in patience. Power is built in silence, not in spotlight. And that's where inner peace begins. When you detach your worth from results. When you stop needing external proof to validate internal progress. Because the truth is no one else can define success for you. Success is living in alignment with your truth. It's waking up every day knowing you're becoming who you're meant to be. You don't need applause, you need authenticity. You don't need validation, you need vision. So make a decision today to be rooted, not rushed, to build, not compare, to trust, not chase. You're not missing out on anything that belongs to you. Life isn't happening out there. It's unfolding right here within you. When you master your focus, your confidence, your consistency, FOMO loses its grip. Because when you know who you are, where you're going, and why it matters, nothing outside of you can shake that foundation. You become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you finally trust that you're enough right here, right now. You can't live fully if you're constantly trying to keep up with everyone else. Life isn't meant to be a competition. It's a creation. The truth is, comparison kills joy. It robs you of gratitude and steals your focus from what truly matters. When you measure your worth against someone else's journey, you're no longer walking your own path. You're living someone else's story. You have to remind yourself your journey